Welcome to the second episode from the White House. We're going direct live. Tell me what's the most important news of the week. I guess it is President Biden's speech from Philly yesterday, last night. What can you brief our audience about it?
Well, what I would say about this speech that's so important is that he really decided to face the elephant in the room, which was Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, and say, look, enough is enough. And what Biden was really trying to say here was that this is not a normal political movement, that everybody has the right to disagree, but that they are encouraging violence and that this is an anti-democratic movement. And he called out former President Trump by name on this. So I thought it was a very important speech. Now, there are many Republicans who are saying, well, this was just a partisan speech leading up to the midterms. Biden forcefully disagrees. He was asked today whether or not this was the case, and he said no. He said, I am not accusing all Republicans of being for autocracy. He's saying, I'm talking about certain people who are cynical, who actually are using this as a way to achieve power.
Tell me, why did President Biden choose that spot to deliver this important speech?
Well, it is the most important spot in the United States. It's the place where the Constitution in 1787 was ratified. It's where the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. It is basically everybody who believes in the United States, in this constitutional government, believes that we must have a rule of law abiding by the Constitution. So he wanted to go right to the spot where the Constitution was ratified.
We are having midterm elections in November. Many people say this is his launch of his election campaign. But tell me what impact this will have on the midterm elections.
We don't know. The thing is that most voters that we have seen in polls are saying the most important things are their jobs, stability, safety. That's why President Biden mentioned the police the other day, because he wanted to show that he is concerned about basic core issues. One of the issues that I think is very important, he pointed out in the very beginning of his speech that he does not agree with the overturning of Roe, that people have the right to privacy. I think that he thinks, and I think he's right about this, that voters are going to be more concerned about their loss of rights of privacy in the overturning of Roe than they're going to be worried about almost anything else. And that could be the Democrats' best hope for keeping the House after the midterms, which seemed almost certain that they would lose.
The Republicans have sought apologies from President Biden. From their perspective, President Biden has accused MAGA of being a kind of semi-fascist group.
Well, that's what he said. That's what President Biden said. Thing is that you either say it is or it isn't. What I think the Republicans are very clear to say is that he is calling all Republicans fascists. And what Biden is very clear to say is, no, I am calling out certain people as fascists, those who agree with violent overthrow of a ratified election, and that is what he is looking at.
What are the other news that came from the White House?
Well, one of the things that's very important that's now come out in the investigation of the Mar-a-Lago papers is that there are 43 folders that were marked classified that are empty. And this presents a huge nightmare for the IC or the intelligence community as to what to do about this. What is not known? The known unknowns. The question really becomes, what does the intelligence community do about this? There are distinct dangers here. One of the big dangers is that there could be human intelligence resources, people that are risking their lives overseas to provide here to the United States vital information. And if they are outed in any kind of way, that's it. Their lives are in danger. And so I believe that the intelligence community right now is panicking over this. And the question is not whether or not to prosecute Trump about this. For the intelligence community, that means nothing. What they care about is getting those documents back and finding out the trail, what happened to those documents, who saw those documents.
It's not only U.S., but the entire world watches very closely what happens in this building, on this ground. So tell us, was there anything of significance for the world community? The world news, the foreign news coming out from this building?
Well, right now, of course, France is very upset because there was word that there was intelligence about Emmanuel Macron. What did that mean? But no foreign leader appreciates being spied on by Americans. And of course, the world is suffering economically. We've got a food shortage due to Ukraine. We've got an oil shortage due to Ukraine. Just today, Russia said that they were going to shut down completely the Nord Stream 1 pipeline to Europe. Europe is having an energy crisis, and we're having worldwide global warming. In Pakistan, for instance, 30% of the country right now is flooded. And the inflation rate in Pakistan is over 25%. This is a world crisis. It's the 5th largest, most populous country in the world. And so for it to get into an economic crisis, of this nature, a food crisis, it's destabilizing for the entire world. And anybody who's looking at the world is very, very concerned about what's going on in Pakistan.
This has been very busy. On the foreign policy front, the White House this week has announced that they will have a summit with the South African leader here, and also with the Pacific Island independent countries later this month. These are two news. And the president will also be traveling to UNGA to address the New York. He will be traveling to New York to address the United Nations General Assembly annual session, I think on 19th September.
That's right.
Now we are headed for a long weekend. President has just flown.
Labor Day.
Camp David. Wish you a nice long weekend and Liberty. Happy Liberty.
What a pleasure this has been. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.